I just saw my first orchestra soundtrack concert. Some shows, some games, some movies, they'll have you either watch some scenes or the whole entire thing, and they play live the music that is going on. Some popular ones are Harry Potter. I know Elden Ring just did a video game one, Stardew Valley's doing a video game one, and I just saw Avatar, The Last Airbender. It was about as amazing as you think it would be. So here are my thoughts. So first thing, the venue. I got there, and actually, we don't even really need to talk about the venue because everyone's is going to be a different experience because of the place. So when the guy was like, when everyone was kind of going to their seat, there wasn't really anyone directing. It was just everyone was kind of going upstairs, and then I heard this guy calling, okay, row H, or section H, you're gonna enter here, section HG, section HJ, whatever. So I was like, oh, okay, section H. So I go over there and I'm like, okay, section H, row 7, seat 7 or whatever. Or section H, row 7. So I go, I'm like, okay, this is all H. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay. Yes. People were still taking their seat at 2 o'clock. I was like, hello? But anyway, the first song starts, beautiful, the intro. It was the original, like the first intro that Qatar does. So she's like, 100 years ago, there's been a war in the Fire Nation, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's not the one that plays every single time. So I was there, it's like, it was great, like, started tearing up, which I've been to, I think, only one concert before that I've ever cared about, which was the Janet Field concert, and, well, not concert, show, the tour, back when you drew cat whiskers on your face. And I remember tearing up when I saw them because, what do you mean these people live across the world and I see them on my screen and here they are, I mean tiny, but here they are in front of me. So started tearing up, and then this lady comes and she's like, hey, I think you're in my seat. And I'm like, what? So I pull out my ticket because the people behind me, the same thing happened to them like 10 minutes ago. And they're like, oh no, these are ours. And they're like, oh, okay. So I show her, I was like, oh, probably the same thing. But I see that she has section H too. And I'm like, wait a minute, we both have section H and row 7, seat 7 or whatever it was. So then she's like, you're in my seat. And I'm like, okay. Like, I'll just go, it's one of me versus 5 of them. Like, I don't know, I was just, for some reason, I took it as I'm in the wrong section. So I went down, and she was like, because she was like, I think that's on the first floor. And I was like, oh, whoops. So I go and I tell the guy, and he's like, oh yeah, you're first floor. So I was like, dang. So the second song is going on. I didn't even see what it was. When I sat down, oh my God. First of all, I had to walk in front of 7 people. That was seat 7. So like, oh my God, I'm sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So I get there and I sit down, and I don't even remember what one it was on. I think it was the earliest song that I remember is like Zuko Speaks Out of Turn or whatever. So now on to the actual set list. So the show was premised as it would be like fan favorites, some scenes from the show. So there are some bits where you were just like watching like the, I don't know, 1 minute, 2 minute scene. And then there's some scenes where it's like a compilation of like, I'm trying to think, like Zuko's redemption. So it like compiled all the scenes in the show to whatever, like what his theme song was. So I think they did a really great job of kind of balancing the show and like watching the show and the compilations. The only thing that bugged me a bit is that, well, for most of it, like it's followed like the story path, like season book 1, book 2, book 3, and so it was just amazing. I didn't get that many clips because, first of all, there's a person in front of me, so I'd have to be like above me, and I was not gonna do that. So I just have a couple where like that. Don't even know if they were good because I did not check them, but they were beautiful. It makes you appreciate how much more like really goes into it because you see 20 different people like working together to make this noise. I think the choir for every show, I've been to a couple concerts before. My school, they did there's an anime club but for orchestra, so they performed like anime songs, and the choir always takes it to the next level. And so seeing, it was 4 people, it was 2 males, 2 females. The one guy had like a really deep voice, but it just elevates it so much. And it also kind of let me see like Azula and the Blue Spirit, which, oh my god, spoiler alert, is Zuko, are pretty similar, which I feel like I've noticed that before, but this time it like popped in my head like, whoa, that's like the exact same instrument that's being, it was great. Then we did book 1, so of course, the intro one, that one stuck out. The finale where Aang like becomes the water spirit. There are some pieces that they, well, I'll get to that in the, not complaints, critiques. So then we get to the second book. They focus, they do Toph's introduction, and then they do, I don't know, book 2 was actually really short. There are some books, I mean, there's some songs where they're like 30 seconds, and so it wasn't like a full song every time. Like it would be, I can't even think of it, but I just know it was amazing during the actual time that I was experiencing it. So you see, this is why you need to take videos, but I was in the moment. So you have book 1, book 2, intermission, and then book 3. So I'm like, okay, book 3, I was like, does it really need like its own like hour and a half to itself? But I was like, yeah, like a lot happens in it. So my favorite songs that gave me chills or made me tear up, the intro, Leaves from the Vine, a classic, and then the dance with the dragons that Zuko and Aang do, that one, and then of course the Agni Kai and Sozin's Comet. I'll pair those together. I mean, that's top 4, I guess. But I think I could have told you that even before watching it. Some very like good songs, I'm glad they put it in there, was the, you know, the outro. And I was like, dang, that's such like a, like it was like 3 instruments. Like you just need the chorus, the, and then the little like, and then the drums, and you got the song. Sometimes simplicity is, but no, they're all great. Now on to my critique. Disappointed at the fact that for the finale, there's a whole bunch that happens, of course. Like, I can't remember if it's that episode or the one before where Aang goes to like find the lion turtle. They did a couple of those songs, and then they did one for the last Agni Kai. They did one for Katara versus Azula, and then they did one for Aang versus the Fire Lord, and that one they made it a little bit longer, so then it went also into where he's like taking his bending away. So I am disappointed that they didn't make the Agni Kai and the Sozin's Comet bit longer. Like, not only are those such pivotal, like it is the series finale, but the music, the soundtrack in those scenes is phenomenal. Like, it is some of their best work. Like, best work. Like, every time I'm scrolling on Instagram and someone like posts that, like I get chills. Like, that's how good the soundtrack is. And they didn't play the full thing. So I'm not sure if that's like from a technicality thing, like it would have been 7 minutes, and then after a couple of like, it would have just been like the same thing repeating and repeating. But my crowd was so interactive, like we would have eaten it up. Like, there were some people cheering. I don't know whether to put this as a critique or just a statement, but there's some people who were cheering at like the show, not the orchestra. So there'd be like a scene where Sokka and, oh my god, what's her name? Sokka and Suki kiss, and people are like, woo! And I'm like, hello? I don't know. I found that was odd. Another thing kind of critiquey, but more on like a comment. People never know how to dress for art performances. Okay, I was aware of this, so I didn't go full on out. Okay, it is a orchestra performance. I have this nice little flowy top. I don't know if you're able to see me. This nice blouse, and then these really nice slacks. Like actually, if I could buy these in every single color, I would. Like they're nice. And they have this like print, or not print, seam. It goes all the way down. And I had my Converse on to kind of dress it down a little bit. There are people that were in full suits, and there were people in crop tops and shorts. I feel like too many people don't realize that, like, this is a performance, not a movie. Like, you gotta dress up a little bit. And I went to the opera before, super cool opportunity, by the way. I got through one of my programs that I was in. There were some people, we were told, not business casual, but the one like above it. So basically, like if you're a guy, like you would wear a dress shirt and a tie. You don't need necessarily a suit. It wouldn't be inappropriate if you had a suit, like some people would have a suit, but like that. So there were some people there that were like in cargo shorts and a t-shirt. This is the opera. Can you dress up a little bit? Like, I don't know, and that just makes me a little bit sad as an artiste. Just a little bit sad that like that respect isn't there. It makes you minor, and you're like, Luna, you're all in a dark room. Like, who cares? The people care. The performers care. You should give them that respect. Like, you should dress up. Look like you didn't just roll out of bed for them. Because here they are performing for months, like with years and years and years of their time poured into mastering this instrument. And for you to just like show up, I don't know. If you get it, props to you. If you don't, look into that a bit more. Oh my gosh, another thing. I am so glad that my seat ended up being not my seat, because they had no like waiting area tables. Like people were just like sitting on the stairs, like leaning against the wall. That's what I was doing. I was sitting on the stairs, and so I could see everyone that was coming in. So I was just kind of like observing. Like there's like 15 kids or less that came in. So it was also so great seeing like there's old people there, there's young people there, like every age. Like people were so different, and we all like came together for the show. There's about 20 kids, which I was a little funny because I was like, this is a kid show. Like technically it is a kid show, but it's also an orchestra, and kids aren't gonna sit through that. And anyway, I'd say the age range was maybe like the average, like the most people I saw, like 25 to 35. Yeah. So I know there's about 20 kids, and I sat down in my seat, and one was behind me. I was like, no way. Out of this 700 seat auditorium, or however many it is, it just happens that that one is with the kid. And it wasn't a quiet kid. It was before, okay? Of course. She's talking with her dad and her mom. But I was like, she kept making this joke about Angie. Me all getting upset with this child. She's like, Angie. And I was like, please. And then, because the guy, he came out, like the first intro guy, he's like, hey, like we're all fans here. Like we all love this just as much as you do. So have a good time. Shout when you want to shout. Cry when you want to cry. Like, here we are. And I was like, oh man, he just gave the kid permission to talk the whole time. But that ended up not being the case. So I'm glad. Yeah, overall, I'd say it was a 9 out of 10 experience. Wonderful. There was some improvements that they could have made, like with some of the song choices. Oh, if I had not seen the show, I would not know that Toph was a main character. Yeah. They focused on character-wise Aang, of course, Zuko, and then I'd say about third was Katara, fourth Sokka, fifth Toph. the gap between Sokka and Toph was huge. For one of the scenes that I was like, why did they choose this? It was Aang finding hope. I think that's what they titled it. Before every song came out, like they put a little like title card, and it was where they're helping the pregnant couple, getting past the Serpent's Pass, and then the mom goes into labor, has a kid, and she's like, what should I name you? And then Aang comes in, he's like, I've been going through a really hard time, like, thank you for this, you give me so much hope. And she's like, I know what unique name for a baby, Hope. And like that interaction was like a whole song. And so there's little things like that where afterwards I'm like, you couldn't put more Agni Kayan or more finale in, but you could put in some dumb hope scene. And like another thing is that you could be like, well, that's because of the story. Everyone there knew the story. Like everyone there had seen the show. And so, not that it was an insult to include that, but like it was just completely unnecessary. Because the storyline of the show, the storyline of the performance was more or less following them. They could have not done that and it would have flowed just as nicely. Oh, I tried doing this, like, this is 16 minutes. I tried doing this nice so then future me would have less editing, but it's not. So I'm just gonna not really edit this at all because that's what really slows me down in posting my videos. So sorry for the jumping around, but the scene, it was a compilation where it was Aang unblocking his chakras. They did just the first little like intro, like chakras this, chakras that, and then the whole where like let go of Katara, and then that transitioned into the fight in underneath Ba Sing Se with Azula where she not shoots him. Well, I guess shoots him. She goes like that. Lightning shoots him. That whole sequence, beautiful. So like it was things like that where it compiled multiple episodes, like the same struggle or same thread that was going on. I think that was such a great way to compile it because there was like talking during that part and it was just beautiful. So knowing that it could be that good and then getting dumb scenes like Hope was a little like so I wish they could have done more with the finale. Like, I can guarantee you we all would have sat through the whole Agni Kai fight and the whole Sozin's Comet. We would have. There's also, I don't know, that's why I'm a little, not confused, but just can't really follow whoever put together the songs. Because, like, in the finale, Sokka and Toph and Suki, non-existent. So I'm trying to think, like, did they do that just because the song is a driving factor and then they incorporate whatever scenes fit into there? Because then that would make sense, because all of that was, like, the climax of the show was Aang versus, not Sozin. I don't know his name, Firelord whatever. Not Azulon. And not Iroh. Zuko's dad. I lost my thought. I was trying too hard to find his name. That, I think, is my biggest critique. But let me go back and listen, because right after, I mean, it was chaos getting out of there. I got so lucky. I parked literally right in front of the venue. Like, the venue's right here, and the road, and I parked right here. So it wasn't until I drove like 20 minutes and got to Target that I was able to like do my voice. So let me listen back and see what Luna 30 minutes ago thought. I almost forgot to show you guys my merch. We were there not to buy stuff. We were there to enjoy the performance. So I got some stuff to remember the performance by, not to like get it as a fan. So I got the poster, which I didn't even realize. I hope it has the dates on the bottom because that's what I bought it for. Let me check. Oh my god, I'm gonna be so sad. Why would you not have the tour dates on there? It is a beautiful piece of art. But I wanted the tour dates on there. What kind of tour poster doesn't have the tour dates on there? Okay, well, I'll deal with this later. And then I got this, which also doesn't have the tour dates. You know how hard it would have been to put just in black the tour dates on there? My Dan and Phil shirt has the tour dates on there. But look, it's beautiful. This is a poster that they use when they like announced it. Yeah, I'm usually a big hater of shirts where they just put like a square. So like this, like if this was a shirt. Like I hate how that looks. Like that is so uncreative. That is so, like I just hate it. I'm sorry. I hate it. I think it's a bad design choice. I think with the entire fabric and everything that you got to work with, throwing a square on there is lazy. I said what I said. So, I don't know why I'm walking away. So, this kind of breaks my rule. It very much does break my rule, but I wanted it. You see, like not even, like the shirt color and the white, like they don't even match. Like it's, honestly, I probably shouldn't have got this, but I wanted something to wear, and everything else was like $50, so I got this. They were probably $50 because they were better designs and someone actually put thought into it rather than just slapping it on. But anyways, I thought it was an amazing experience, and I would definitely do something like that again. Oh wait, what's that? I already have booked a ticket for the Spider-Man Spider-Verse 2 Into the Spider-Verse concert? I do. If you want to see my experience and any other thing that I post between here and then, I'm doing a Fallout series right now. Yeah, you should subscribe and follow and subscribe and like, and yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.